Well, thank you for coming. This has been a pretty exciting day for a lot of people, so we appreciate the people that have turned up and come to have a look. We started working with Andrew and Linda about 3 years ago, and basically one of the drivers was Andrew heard Nick, my partner who's been operating the microscope, speak, and the driver was that Andrew was losing a lot of grass. The cows were pulling it up in winter time. The roots were only going down a short distance, and Nick showed some photos of roots going down a lot deeper. So that was a driver for Andrew to say, look, come out, have a look at my farm. I reckon there's some issues here that we could work on. So then we sort of looked at what he was doing, and he started off with a program using our compost, and there's a small pile of our compost over there. It's just separate to the rest of it. If anyone wants to have a look at it, there's about 10 tonnes sitting there. And we looked at things like his soil roots and worm numbers, and we used the penetrometer to look at how far the roots were going down using an instrument that can help measure that. And we started off doing half the farm at 400 kilos to the hectare with some compost teas and some fish sprays. The reason why I want to start from this angle is that the compost is made the way it is because we're looking to try and incorporate it into the fertiliser program rather than use it as a means of dealing with waste. And by doing that, we're formulating a program that the farmer can use to value add what he's currently doing from a fertiliser perspective. So the program that we developed for Andrew on half the farm, and had to compete against the conventional system that he was using for the previous 5 years. So the program was 400 kilos of our compost. There was a little bit of traces possibly added. I can't remember exactly what traces were put in, but there is potential to do that. But certainly we moved away from urea and to a liquid nitrogen. And the reason we did that was we wanted to do less damage to the soil. We don't want to put a product out and then compromise it in some way. So the idea was to go to a liquid nitrogen so as to put it on the plant and try and minimise what was landing on the soil. And then some compost teas, and that was sort of follow-up work to build on the fact that we only put light rates of compost on and help with diversity. We want to get as much diversity of organisms in there as we can. So that was done, and the other thing that we did in the spring was add some fish. I like adding fish into the programs because the fish, being a sea fish, has a lot of minerals in there. Some are documented in your soil test, some aren't. So if there's a limiting factor, a spray of fish can actually help take that out and give you a bit of extra feed.